right now as I speak.
And Mr. Hayes, how old was that singer when he
was 14 years old.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Alex Chilton. Can you imagine? The voice of that came out of a 14-year-old kid.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of the guy that was a lead singer in the movie The Commitments. He was like 17 when that movie came out, and then he sounded like Otis Redding.
Well, Alex Chilton went on to record quite a few hits with the Box Tops, and then he went on and was it Lone Star? Or something. It wasn't Lone Star, the country group, but he created another group. You remember what it was called?
It stars in it. It wasn't Telstar.
Texas Star, something like that? Or?
But, yeah, they had like one big album that came out, and then they just kind of disappeared.
Yeah. But he was one of those kind of guys that just, when the record companies heard him sing, couldn't believe it was really him.
A great songwriter as well.
Well, you got me interested here.
Yeah, that's my job.
Okay, you got me all interested.
Yeah, because I've got it on my Apple Music, the album and that band that he was with.
I'm trying to find the band.
Yeah.
He's with Box Tops. All right. You're going to have to wait till you're done with the news. I'm doing my research while I'm talking.
I will do that.
But anyway, all right. Time for the news brought to you, and Mark Morgan's out there going, hurry up, come on, talk.
That's him yelling at the Superload.
Well, yeah, he's honking at the Superload right now. I can guarantee you that. Oh, it's probably right there in his face over there on the west side. But it's brought to you, of course, by Morgan Brothers Jewelers, downtown Portsmouth. Don't forget the Bros. The Bros won't forget you. They've been doing it now for 75 years and counting, and their doors, we think, will be open this morning at 10. Just make sure the Superload gets by then, okay?
You got it.
All right. Once again, here's Bill Show.
Thank you, Steve, and good morning, everyone. United States President Joe Biden took to the airwaves in prime time last night to explain why he's not running for president. Jay Fox has details.
Last night, in an address broadcast from the Oval Office, President Joe Biden spoke to the nation about his decision to withdraw from the 2024 presidential race. No mention was made of health issues. Instead, he said it was time to pass the torch to the next generation and cited the reasons why he believes November will be a turning point for the country.
America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy? In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions.
Now, here in Ohio, we're getting closer to the start of a new school year, and health officials here are urging parents to get their children vaccinated. Doctors in the Buckeye State say they're seeing more childhood disease incidents, but fewer children are being vaccinated. I had the opportunity to talk with Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff, and we discussed the importance of making sure kids are up to date on recommended childhood vaccines.
That means that a child is going to become very ill, a child is going to suffer, a child is going to end up with a lifetime disability, or sadly, in some instances, a child is going to die. And we could have prevented that illness. So that, I think, is what drives our concern and our messaging and our plea.
Dr. Vanderhoff was referencing the ongoing threats of COVID-19 and influenza, as well as tragic cases involving measles and other diseases, including whooping cough and mumps. By the way, Ohio has also had 7 measles cases so far this year. And the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum is proud to announce the establishment of the newest chapter of their organization. Here's Scott Jenkins to tell us more.
On Saturday, July 27th, the Portsmouth, Ironton, Moorhead, and Huntington chapters of the Reds Hall of Fame will now join together to become the Gene Bennett chapter. We're naming it after Gene Bennett because, of course, with these chapters, it was Gene Bennett's territory when he was a scout for the Reds.
Jenkins told me there'll be a chance to meet a former favorite Reds player that day as well.
At 2 o'clock at the baseball mural in Portsmouth, we will make a formal announcement, and this will include Reds Hall of Fame members, myself, and Kathy Jennings, the daughter of Gene Bennett. We will proceed then to Buffalo Wild Wings on Chillicothe Street from 2:30 to 4 o'clock. We have 1990 World Series champion and Reds Hall of Famer Ron Oster appearing.
Oster will be at Buffalo Wild Wings to take pictures and sign autographs. Now, among the players scouted and signed by Gene Bennett were Reds Hall of Famers Don Gullett, Barry Larkin, and Chris Sabo, plus Paul O'Neill. Gene Bennett died in 2017 at the age of 89. And finally, this weekend, Sunday, July 28th, the 606 Riders will be hosting the second annual James Aaron Rowe Memorial Ride at the South Shore Rotary Park, beginning with a 12 noon registration. Kickstands will go up at 1 o'clock. There's going to be live music performed by well-known local artists, as well as food trucks, plenty of vendors, and a live auction that'll take place at 3 p.m. For Mix 99.3 News, I'm Bill Shope.
Big Star.
Thank you. Yes,
Big Star.
They were supposed to be this influential band that was going to revolutionize music and different things, and they just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, well, that was, again, Alex Chilton and his group, but you're right. They did have one big album.
Yeah.
And aside from that, kind of just... they just drifted away. But he, if you go back and you do a little research on him, and you can find some old records, I'm sure, down at Travis's place, Haskins' house. Certainly worth the investment, because very few, if anybody, had a voice like him.
No, and I've listened to that album, and the music on it is a kind of an eclectic mix of California early rock and other influences. But you can tell Alex Chilton's voice.
Yeah, take it from a guy who hung out last night with Joan Jett. I mean, he knows his stuff, and he's passing it along to you free of knowledge. All right, there you go. Thank you, Bill Shope. This update brought to you this morning by Morgan Brothers Jewelers, the bros knows when it comes to quality jewelry through and through. And that'll be Mark Morgan and the entire gang. Of course, Rick and Aaron. They'll be there when those doors open this morning at 10, unless the big load gets them. But I don't think they will, man. I tell you what, 75 years of service has never stopped him before and won't stop him today. For 75 years, Morgan Brothers Jewelers in downtown Portsmouth has been your go-to location for fine jewelry, watches, and more. When it comes to either buying or repair, Rick Morgan, Mark Morgan, and Aaron are there when those doors open at 10 o'clock Tuesday through Saturday. Morgan Brothers is an institution, and they're easy to find at 739 5th Street in Portsmouth. If you'd like to check out what they've got, simply go to their Facebook page or call 353-3259. That's Morgan Brothers Jewelers, 75 years and counting. And time now once again for sports, brought to you by your friends at Little Septic Service. If you got a septic tank or septic issues or the letter, give them a call for inspection, and they're good folks. They'll take care of that. That is 574-2033. All right, sports, and once again, we go to the sports desk and Chuck.
Thanks, Steve. The Cincinnati Reds defeated the Atlanta Braves 9-4 yesterday down in Atlanta. Spencer Steer had a great game. He went 3 for 5 with a pair of doubles and a triple. He also logged 3 RBI and scored twice. Ellie De La Cruz went 3 for 5 with a home run, 3 runs scored, and a couple steals. And Jake Fraley went 3 for 5 at the plate. He had a home run and a couple of RBI. With the win yesterday, the Reds moved out of the cellar in the NL Central. Cincy is 10 games out, a game ahead of the Chicago Cubs. Cincinnati will be off today and will visit Tampa Bay tomorrow for a weekend series. Now, as a result of Tuesday evening's rainout, the Reds and Braves were going to play 2 games yesterday. One was to start at 12:20. They played that one. The second game was supposed to start at 6:05. Rain rolled into the Atlanta area again, and they didn't get that second game played, so they will make it up on September the 9th. The Cleveland Guardians took down the Detroit Tigers 2-1 yesterday. Josh Naylor singled in his Bo for the go-ahead run in the 8th inning. The 4th and final game of this series will take place this afternoon in Cleveland at 1:10. The Guardians have won 2 out of 3 so far in this series. Cleveland currently has a 5-game lead in the American League Central. In minor league baseball, the Chillicothe Paints fell to the Lafayette Aviators last night, 12-4. The Paints will visit Illinois Valley this evening at 8:05. Checking results from the Elks Wednesday Night Golf League, topping the leaderboard in the Jim Tracy division was Neil Hatcher Real Estate. Edward Jones was tops in the George Heller division. The flight winners yesterday were Seth Dixon in A flight. He shot a 36. Ryan Carter was tops in B flight with a score of 35. Kirk Donges led the way in C flight with a score of 38. Both Steve Benz and Stan Jennings shot a 45, which was best in D flight, and Mike Southworth and Sean Davis were numero uno among the E-Flight players yesterday as each shot a 50. A lot of fundraisers are coming up for some local high school teams as the fall sports season is less than a month away. Notre Dame High School's annual Father Patterson Golf Scramble will take place tomorrow at the Elks Country Club starting at 3 o'clock. For more details, you can contact Matt Mater at 740-357-8653. The Minford High School boys soccer team is hosting a cornhole tournament as a fundraiser tomorrow. If you would like to learn more or email your entry, you may do so by emailing jacobhack12@gmail.com. And there will be a designer purse bingo event tomorrow that will serve as a fundraiser for the Minford High School football team. That will take place in the middle school cafeteria at Minford, starting at 6:30. The doors open at 5:30. The Olympic game opening ceremonies are tomorrow. Some events have already started. Your Portsmouth Insurance Sports Time is 9:12. Portsmouth Insurance is a TAH benefits partner. Call Gary Duzan for all of your employee benefit needs. And that is a look at sports.
Okay, and thank you, Chuck. And it's brought to you this morning by Little Septic Service. And again, they're going to be there for you for any work you need at 574-2033. And we will check forecast kickoff the 90s at 9 next.